Hello, a very good evening to you all. Yes, we're about to launch a brand new one-day special, and I, for one, am very excited about this. It's a rare occasion. We've got Anthea here from Quilting Antics. Anthea, very good evening to you.
Hello.
I really am looking forward to this. We've got lots of goodies, of course, a brand new one-day special as well. When was the last time you did a one-day special?
I'll tell you when, if your Miss is watching. It was the Owl and the Pussycat.
Was it?
Do you remember when he...
That must have been a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, well then, you're in for a treat this hour, aren't you? Now, we've got the Great British Baltimore. When you see the sample in the studio as well, it's absolutely beautiful. Now, when it comes to the one-day special, you will get the booklet. Look at the quilt we've got here. You're also getting a 10-piece, 10-inch tweed fabric pack. That's right in front of me here. We've got an extra bit of fabric. I've forgotten the name of this one again, Anthea.
Velvet. Velvet.
Is it a silk velvet?
Silk velvet, yeah.
Silk velvet, that's the one. Absolutely beautiful. Now, the quilt itself, we can see, we have got it in the studio, of course. It is stunning, it really is. You can see it on the picture, but of course, we want to see it in real life, don't we? If you want to go for this, there is a saving as well, an £8 saving, just £44.98. 098 843 is the item number. There is a flexi on there. We're looking at the quilt, but obviously the one-day special, we can see, Anthea, we haven't got everything we need to make that quilt. What have we got here?
Right, so what you've got there is 10-inch squares.
Okay,
and Katie and I were talking about this, and we thought, you've got the whole kit, and lots of people can afford the whole kit.
Okay.
But then there's also lots of people who might struggle. So what you've got is a set of fabric to set you off.
Got you.
Now, it may vary, but it will be within the, within the
colours,
within that lot there.
Yeah,
That's it.
So a slight shade might vary. Very
If I've run out of
yeah.
the cerise pink, you might get the light pink, that kind of thing. But you won't be disappointed, whatever you get.
Oh, look at the fox. The fox with the foxgloves.
I know, and this is all designed by Michaela, and I mean, we've discussed Michaela lots and lots of times. She's great.
She really is. We've seen so many designs
She's got
now.
that je ne sais quoi.
Definitely. Oh, we're going to have a closer look at all of the blocks in a while, but you can see what you're getting here with the pattern booklet. Let's have a closer look at the tweed itself, because, do you know what, this is beautiful. The 10-inch squares, quality tweed. We wouldn't expect anything different from you, Anthea. That's for sure. So, you say this is to get us going, so what can we achieve with this?
Well, as you can see in the quilt, everything's quite earthy in there. Well, I say earthy, it's not earthy as in like what you dig in your garden, is it? Because you've got pinks and you've got yellows, but it's all of nature, natural. That's my word, natural colours.
Okay.
So you've got all the natural colours there. You can mix and match. So you've got two different oranges in there, which I've used for the squirrel, for the fox and for the molehill. Well, you could quite easily use the otter mud colour for a molehill or swap the oranges around. You don't have to do it exactly the same as I've done it. For instance, you've got your primroses there with the badger. They're yellow.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't a primrose, it didn't need to be yellow.
Of course.
Because it could be a busy Lizzie.
Of course. And the fact that you've got the pattern as well, you don't have to make the quilt. You could turn those blocks into different things.
Well, I'm glad you've mentioned that, Catherine, because what I've done, I've put in there, there's 5 different ideas.
Okay.
So if you wanted to do a cushion, so I've given you, we can all do a cushion. We've kind of, a back and a front sew round. We've bossed that. So I'm going to tell you how to do a piped cushion. So it just like lifts your work up to the next level. A simple tote bag. Well, I've done a tote bag out of 1/2 metre of tweed because we're being thrifty, and we're also selling the fat quarters today. So if you want some fat quarters, if you get 2 fat quarters, we would cut it as 1/2 metre.
Okay.
So you would get the tote bag. But actually, when I think about it, you won't even use the full 1/2 metre if you use your block as one side of the bag. So
I've just found the instructions for the piping cord.
Pardon?
I've just found the instructions for the piping cord.
So you've got a cushion, you've got a tote bag. Oh, I'll tell you what else I've popped in there. Instructions for making a block keeper. I don't know about you, Catherine, but when I'm making a nice project like this, I always like to use an orphan block.
Right, okay. Yeah.
And do a block keeper.
Yeah.
And I like it because we're crafters. We like nice things, don't we?
course.
I mean, part of the excitement of making a quilt is that you can go, I don't know, where's mine? Oh, look, oh, I've got a nice sewing case. That's part of the excitement,
I've seen that.
isn't it?
That is beautiful.
Yeah. So you've got the instructions in there for a block keeper that would work with this size block.
Okay.
So you can make yourself one of those instead.
You have been very generous there, I've got to say, Anthea, and I can tell you we're busy already on this one. Almost 20% of the one-day special already gone. This is the first hour. We're only 5 minutes in, actually. Yeah, that £8 saving and the flexes, well, we've got so much more to show you. 098843 is the item number. Now, before I move from here, I will tell you about a couple of happy hour deals. In fact, I've got them right here. So let me bring up... we've got a couple more pattern books for you. Christmas favourites. There we are. Christmas is coming. Christmas is here. Presents are coming. Dinky little houses. We've got Sleigh Bells Ring, Sugar Mice, Jolly Saint Nick and Elfie Bow, all within here. And are these real size templates?
Yeah, everything. We always do real size. You never have to blow anything up, make it bigger, make it smaller. You can if you want to, but you don't have to get the project. And they're all dotted about the studio. The stockings, the dollies, I've got things on the table here in front of me.
Oh, I love these. I've not seen all of these before,
Are you looking
Anthea?
at Christmas favourites there?
We are looking, yes, we are.
Yeah, now, if you haven't had that one already, I've brought it back because I've been getting emails from people saying, I missed it last time it was on a happy hour. It's coming on for Christmas. Give us a hand.
Oh, you do need this. Yeah, take advantage of that saving as well. Look at that, £13.50 off for this hour only. There we are, 1999 000 413. That's the item number.
Before you
Another
do
one.
those, sorry to interrupt
No,
you,
it's all
Catherine.
right.
Before you do,
Yeah.
I want to tell you that in the new book, we've got a new tree skirt and a new advent calendar. So if you get in the favourites for those two items, and there's plenty of those books, we're not going to run out.
Okay.
You might want to have a look at the new ones and then decide.
Definitely,
Decide
definitely.
on both if you want.
But we've
One
got another happy hour. I've got this book. I adore this book.
Oh, thank
Jingle
you.
all the... I do, seriously. I absolutely adore it. This, well, if you don't know what sort of stocking to give to somebody, there's got to be something in here. And I think this, do you know, this goes from child right through to adult, through to grandparents, I think, as well.
And they're not just
I
for
love
Christmas.
It.
They're gift bags, aren't they?
Yeah, they're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. So much fun.
Yeah, and I was thinking coming down, you know, if you want, because now's the time, if you're going to be making Christmas stockings, now is the time to get on with it.
Yeah.
So we've given you things in there like reindeer rovers. So it's a generic stocking for your football fan. But if you wanted to change that so that it's relevant to whoever your person follows, be it rugby, be it football, whatever, what I would do is I would draw your let me get the pattern here. Let me get the pattern. We'll just have an impromptu demo,
Okay.
Catherine.
While you're finding the page, I'll just give the item number there because there is a £32 saving. I just want to remind people, being a happy hour deal, that price will go up to the price that you can see there above the yellow box at £51.99. 769998 is the item number. We're looking at some of these samples here. They are truly magnificent. Okay, over to you, Anthea.
Right. Well, you know what it's like when you want something. So there's Twinkle Toes, High Tops and Holidays. Oh, it is in here. Honest, Gaffer, honest. It's in here. Where is it? Oh, Catherine, you'll open yours and it'll be on the right page, but mine isn't. Here we are.
You found it.
So we've got Reindeer Rovers and, oops, do we want it this way around? It's over 2 sheets because it's a big one. So it goes together. You've got your join lines. Put it on, sellotape them together, and then what you can do is overdraw on the pattern. So let's say you wanted a motif here, or you wanted to change the lines, or you wanted to make the socks vertical, or put a different motif up there instead of Rudolph. You can change the lines so that you can make it bespoke for your person. So whatever you want, put a message on there, you know, personalise it, the whole works.
I just love these, seriously.
It's
And
the
we're
great
very
fun, aren't
busy
they?
on those as well. Yeah, Take advantage of that saving for this hour only, remember. Now let's move down because we've got so much more to get through as well. Now if you are going for the one-day special, we've shown you how you can get started. You do get the pattern book, but wait for it, because we have got this. Not just this here, also the fabric that's at the back. Now I am going to go to the back in a second and show you exactly what you're getting here. This is just incredible. You've got the Great British Baltimore Quilt tweed fabric pack. Now, can I go to the back now? Is that all right while we're looking at those? Because I do need to show you the size of the fabric that we've got here. Now, we've seen the sample of the quilt. You can make this. If you go for this bundle, you can create that quilt. If you go in with the one-day special, you've got the pattern there as well. The pattern is also available separately. But look at this. I am going to lift this piece off. I think we can see where this has come from the quilt itself. A huge piece of tweed, and this is genuine tweed, superb quality, absolutely stunning colour there as well. But if I just drape that over my arm a little bit, and we look at this piece here, this is only, you've seen a quarter of the fabric, because this is folded in half, and then it's draped over the pole as well. So that means you've got the same again at the other side. Anthea, do we know the overall size of this piece?
The big piece, it's 54 usable inches wide, so it's actually a bit wider than that, and it's 2¼ metres long. And what I've done, Catherine, in the book, I've given you on the back page cutting layouts, because you want to get the most out of there. So if I just show you here, you've got your, your cutting diagrams so that you'll get, the last thing you want to do is go hacking into it, get all your blocks out, and then find that you haven't got enough for your borders. Yeah. So I've given you the layout and I've told you which bit to cut first, second, whatever. And likewise with the green, because the green is going to be the inner border, it's going to be the cornerstones, and it's going to be lots of leaves. So fantastic. I would suggest that, another little impromptu thing here, I would suggest that your borders and things, cut them first, put them to one side, nice and safe, and then you're not going to...
Fantastic.
Yeah.
You are going to have spare, aren't you, Anthea? You've got way more than you need.
Yeah.
So, now, such an amazing buy,
I've hummed and hard about this, Catherine. Do you want to see now, or do you want to see later?
Oh, we'll have a look now, if that's okay.
Have a look now. Yeah, I'll oblige. Right, so this is all the stuff that I've got left. So some of the fabrics, you'll use every scrap, and when it gets to the borders, you'll be trying to eke out another little flower and all the rest of it. But so I've got some of the background left over, which I can piece that together and make something else with if I want. But you've got, laid like this, it almost looks like it's the whole lot untouched, but it isn't, because you've got the green. You see, I've only got little bits left. Oh, that fits there. But you see the bluebells, I've chopped loads out, but I'm going to use this. So if I want to do the block keeper, this is where I'm going to get it from.
Amazing.
Yeah. You've got like your squirrel, that's known as
every single scrap will come in, won't it, though? Because you can improvise with things as well. And if you want to take the templates from the book, of course, you can create small projects. You could even, I suppose, I'm going to ask the question actually, could you scale down the templates and use them?
You could.
So if you want to do like a little sewing case or something like that, or a pencil case?
You could. And why I'm like... You've turned a bit Adam on me here, because you've made me in a little thing. No, because these are printed to order. I could actually put you some in if you want.
Oh.
Oh. What do you think to that?
I think you've already been very generous. It would be a bonus, but we'll not promise it.
Shall I do it, Catherine?
If you think you can do it.
What size do you think? A5?
That would be a good size, I think, yeah.
A5, right, I'll do you some A5 ones, and then if you want
to...
You know, like I held my sewing case up before, you want... block keeper, sewing roll.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah. We're busy for this bundle as well. I'm going to step forward again, because don't forget, the fabric that we've just seen at the back there, you are getting all of this as well. We've got some of that lovely velvet silk in here as well. Absolutely beautiful. The colours are glorious. We have got flexi on this, so today all you need to pay is £89.97. 283865 is the item number. You can really spread the cost, but if you are adding anything else into your basket, including the happy hour deals as well, of course, you can split that payment into 3 ways. Honestly, value for money, Anthea. I know when we look at the prices and we think that's a lot of money, but the fabric and the quality and the amount that you're getting, and now you've just said what you've said, it's a bit of a no-brainer for me if you can afford to go for that.
You really are, and I mean, Katie and I discussed this for weeks and weeks, and we wanted to give you a one-day special where you were really getting a lot of bang for your buck, and I think we've kind of achieved it, really.
I'm sure you have. But it still gets better because we are catering for all pockets here. Now, if you're loving the quilt, if you love the blocks, maybe you've got favourites, you can actually go for the individual applique blocks as well. So, of course, you've got choices there. A £3 saving here, £26.99 is the price, 641 458 is the item number. I think the best way to see these, actually, we've kind of got them in some sort of order to match with the quilt, but when we look at the quilt itself and you see those completed blocks and the ingredients in each of these kits, I think Mr. Fox is my favourite, you know. I don't know what it is about him, but I've fallen in love with him a little bit.
Yeah, I get my teeth in. Do you know, I've been showing people, which one do you like? Which do you like best? And the best thing about this is people have said all the different blocks. Different people have got different favourites for different reasons. But the Fox, I think, is the one
it is gorgeous,
that people have more than any gone, yeah, it's the Fox.
Definitely, there he is. Well, there's Mr. Fox if you want to go for him as the option. The next one we're going to look at, moving along on that quilt, of course, all individually available under this item number, each one of these blocks. There's the otter. That would be Julia Watts' favourite.
I really wanted that one to be my favourite, and I think it is, but then there's other favourites too. And do you know, it didn't look anything till I put those little details on the irises.
Do you know, that's quite often the case, isn't it?
And the whiskers on him.
Yeah.
Oh, and not to mention Sue with the white dots in everybody's eyes.
You've got to do that.
Super white dots in.
You've got to do that. Yeah, they don't look right without those little bits of white. They're glint in their eye.
Once you put that white in, they're alive. They're not a flat picture. It just, you know, it's there. It's waiting for a fish.
Do you know what I love about Mr. Otter there? Mr. or Mrs. Otter, I don't know which one it is, but looks a very happy otter.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's have a look at the mole. Let's have a look at the mole. Oh, and we've got bluebells with the mole.
We have.
Oh, Mr. Mole. Look at his whiskers.
Now, while we're looking at these, I've done everything raw edge applique.
Yeah.
And the main reason for that is because we work at such a rate of knots. If I didn't do the quickest method possible, we wouldn't get done. But originally I did start doing this quilt by hand.
Did you really?
I did, yeah. I've actually got my
but that is a lovely thing because you can. This is going to be a labour of love, isn't it?
Yeah, so this one's done raw edge applique with a dark brown thread.
Yeah.
My original is done with hand blanket stitch in matching thread. And then there's a lady called Jill. If you're watching, Jill, send a picky in. Jill has made this quilt, and she did it in machine blanket stitch.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Right, okay, let's move along because we've got more of these blocks to get through. A favourite of many is the hedgehog, of course. We're just going to see Mrs. Hedgehog right now. Oh, we've got sunflowers on this one. Beautiful. So it's not just about the characters, is it? We are looking at we've got the pears in there, the apples, the sunflowers. Very nice indeed.
During this one, I think I like the flowers better than the hedgehog.
Do you?
Yeah. And everybody loves hedgehogs, myself included, but I love the flowers in this one.
But again, you can take those and use them in separate projects afterwards. You know, you've got the details, the instructions, the template if you're going for the book, of course. We are looking at the applique packs. The book is available, or if you're going for the one-day special, of course, you will get the pattern book included there as well. Let's move on to the next one. Actually, this one might be my second. I can't really choose a second favourite.
This one I think is my favourite.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the little field mice.
Love them. Absolutely love them. Harvest mice.
That's the one, harvest mice.
I knew you were thinking of that, Catherine.
Yeah. Field mice are really tiny, aren't they? Are they?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Some mice we love and some mice we don't love quite as much.
I like all mice.
Yeah. Well, yeah, except when they're in your house.
Look at them there on the wheat as well. Gorgeous.
They are lovely. And the detail on the poppies, I just cut a single poppy and stitched the detail on. You know, instead of cutting lots of pieces. But the thing about that one, it wasn't until I did the little hand touches on the wheat and that made the whole thing come to life. Because up to that point, my husband were going, No, that mouse looks like it's got a sword sticking out of its back.
I think the fabric really works perfectly for the mice because you've got the herringbone effect in there, so
Absolutely,
you've got that texture in there.
Once you put those hand stitches on, it just comes alive.
Absolutely gorgeous. But we've got more, so let's have a look at squirrel next. Oh, with the acorns, of course. Some nice green leaves in this
and
one.
And pine cones as well.
Yes, pine cones.
Now the pine cones, you could put hand stitching on those, but with it being a herringbone fabric, you didn't need to because the detail was, like, you know, came ready done, if you will.
Again, works perfectly, doesn't it? There, we'll have a look at that one, and then we'll move on to badger. Now, badger I particularly like because you've got some of that lovely velvet silk in there.
Yeah. The badger is it's another one of my favourites.
Yeah, he's very grand, the badger, I
He's
think.
lovely, isn't he? He worked beautifully. But then Michaela's drawings, they just always work beautifully. She's just got a style about her. Stunning. And if you follow Michaela's work, then this is, you know, you won't be able to help yourself.
Aren't you, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got a couple more to do, so we'll move on to the next one. We've got our beautiful little rabbit next. And the flowers around the rabbit here is stunning again, using the velvet silk for the flowers. And when you probably can't pick it up on the camera at the moment, but when the light catches and you see the effect of the fabric, it is absolutely stunning. There we are, there's the lovely little rabbit, and then we've finally got the blackbird. Nice to include a little bird in there.
I really like the blackbird too.
Yeah, the blackbird is lovely. Now, if you want to go for the one-day special, you can do. If you want to go for the applique, you can do. If you want to go for the quilt set itself, that huge bundle of the tweed, and you want to go for one of the, or two, or three, of the applique sets as well, you can make matching cushions. You could maybe make a wall hanging. I presume you could even turn sort of the top of a stool into something very, very nice.
Anything at all. Anything. You know, if it's in your imagination, then that's it.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we've got a lot to think about, haven't we? £26.99 if you're going for the applique packs. Take advantage of that £3 savings. 641458 is the item number. Now, we've got one more to show you before we go to demonstration. There is more on the show, but I think, you know, we're covering some really good kits here. Now, this next one, Anthea, this is the border kit, isn't it? It is. When we're looking at the quilt again, if you want to sort of break it down into stages, this is a good way to go. Yeah,
so you're going to get all your border fabric, plus enough for the applique. Now, there is more in there than the applique on the quilt, because it was in my mind to do another corner, but you know what it's like, ladies and gents. So, you know, you could put poppies and cornflowers and other things up in the top corner too.
I adore the foxgloves in the corner there, though. I think they look absolutely stunning. We've got the irises in yellow. We're just coming down to see those flowers, actually. If you want to go for this kit, it's £29.99. 927638 is the item number. I think that is an amazing price. When you look at the amount of tweed and the quality that you're getting here, everything is just second to none. It really is. Now, we do have something else that is always very popular when it comes to Anthea's programmes. You know what's coming, don't you? They always fly out. You need to be very, very quick with these. This is your tweed treasure. Contents will vary, but Anthea always puts in a really lovely selection for you. 300 grams is the weight of the bundle for £29.97. You know, those smaller projects again, if you're building up your own designs, these are perfect. If you're even not sure what you're going to do with them, they're just the perfect pieces to keep in stock because you will definitely find a use. 842723 is the item number here. I would say be very quick with those because we do sell out on those almost every single time that Anthea's here. We've then got the ragged gold dust, and that's exactly what it is. It's like gold dust, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's here in my bag.
Do you know, you actually, do we get 2 bags of this?
You get 2 bags of this. I'll bob down again. 2 bags. I'll tip them out in a bit and then you can have a proper look. Now, can I just say, Catherine, you're right, every single bundle, arrangement, whatever, is completely different, and I've kind of just brought a cross-section of things that are in this one. So you might get these kind of blues and greens, or you might get these kind of neutrals, but then you might get things that might do for the quilt.
Oh.
Now, I'm not guaranteeing it. I want to be really clear. I am not guaranteeing what you're going to get and the sizes, etc., etc. But I think that you could, with some of these, You know,
Most
I mean,
definitely.
you might get this one, which is Rusty's, but you might get this one, which is, you know, that's not the pink I used, but it's a pink that could be used, for instance. Do you want me to just put these against some of the flowers?
You could do that. We're very busy, I've got to say, on the tweed treasure.
A little shuffle, so you can see, on this one.
If you can manage it, Anthea, don't worry.
For instance, you would get flowers there.
Oh, I don't know if we can get the camera shot in the right angle.
Take it from me, you can. I'll shuffle it back over here now. Just wreck the set, you know.
Well, I can tell you the tweed treasures are very busy, as we expected. 300 grams is the weight of the bundle once again. 842723 is the item number. £3 saving today as well. Anthea doesn't need to put these savings on because they're bargains as they are. But for you today, £26.97. Right, shall we get back to you, Anthea?
I was going to say, it might be worth mentioning these when they're gone, they're gone. Where, like, your pattern books, they're printed to order, so we can, you know, we've got more scope with those. These, if you want them, jump in because there isn't any more. That is it until. Do you want me to explain where we get them from?
It's up to you, Anthea.
Well, if I explain to you what they are, then you'll understand why there is. So I use, they're all from the Abraham Moon woolen mill, and I go up there when they've been doing the pattern books, and I buy all the leftovers. So we get kilos and kilos of it. So we pick through it. So we get long bits, we get squarish bits, and we get short bits. So we pick through it all, and we kind of grade it, and then. This is kind of how it, you know, and it that's a bag full.
They are just
that's a
the
handful,
perfect items, aren't they?
And so on and so forth. Now, can I just take a moment to mention we've got a new little viewer tonight?
Have we?
And sometimes in summer she sees us doing this, and it's Florence. And can we give Florence a little wave? So hello, Florence, if you're watching.
Hi.
So Florence was, whoops,
Maybe jump.
Florence was 2 on Saturday, and she's watching for the first time. So hiya.
Oh, Florence. Oh, I do hope you are watching. We hear you are. Lovely to have you on board. Just to make it very clear then, Anthea, the ones that you've got in front, the longer strips there are the raggy tweed. We've got the details on the screen at the moment. £17.99 for these. 723428. We've got lots of different options and lots of different amounts.
And just a heads up, Catherine, this is the one with the least numbers on it.
Okay, so if you want those, I would say get them in your basket and check your basket out. You can always come back afterwards if you're not sure about other things. Don't forget though, if you are going for anything with a flexi, you can split the cost of anything, including those items as well. Right, yes, we are busy. Let's crack on though, because, well, what we're doing now, we're going to stay with Anthea, or are we coming back to the one-day special? We've got the one-day special and we know it's busy, but we are going to go to Anthea. Ooh. Anthea, what are we going to talk about next? What are you doing?
Well, I'm covered in Christmas here. I don't know if you want to talk about Christmas. Let's get excited about Christmas, because I've got new Christmas.
I know you have.
I've got chocolates too, Catherine. Yeah. Woo! Oh, somebody's been in the chocolates.
Not me. Not guilty.
I know who's been in the chocolates. It's the same person who furnished us with chocolate. So I didn't know whether you wanted to talk Christmas or whether you want to sort me out, Catherine.
Well, shall we have a look at the book? We have got a new book, as we say, Coming Home for Christmas. Here it is. Saving of £28. And I can say this genuinely, if you were to buy these patterns individually and tot up the price, you'll be paying far more than going for the book. That's why we've got that £28 saving. Individually, you would generally be paying that price of £51.99. But Anthea's given us a great discount, so it's down to £23.99 for everything. 975451 is the item number, brand new today as well. And Anthea, I know you've got samples over there, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got the 4 new ones here. So brand new advent calendar. I love this. So this was drawn originally by Roberta. And we've kind of sat on this for a couple of years and not done anything with it. And then Sue made it up. She made a few tweaks. Just to mention, the original drawing had a church at the back.
Okay.
But we swapped it for a village. So what I've done in the book, I've given you both sets of drawings. So you're going to get, it's the same people and Christmas tree, but you can choose Christmas tree, church or village. It's up to you. So if you wanted to do for 2 people and you wanted them to look different, that would be a way.
That is lovely.
I
Again,
love
very generous.
there is something about kind of that Victoriana Christmas.
Oh,
Does
definitely.
it ever go out of fashion?
No.
Never, ever,
No.
ever. And so I absolutely love this. And then you've got the little chocolate pennies in all the pockets.
It's the attention to detail again, Anthea. The lantern there, you can see the sparks of light coming
Yeah,
out of
oh yeah, definitely.
the lantern
Beautiful.
itself.
And the candle, yeah, really, really gorgeous.
Stunning.
Sue's done a cracking job on this one. She really has. So yeah, and the pockets, if you wanted to make them a little bit bigger, there's nothing to stop you from doing that.
That is beautiful. It
That
really
is
is.
really
That's just one of the
nice.
projects as well.
That's just one. Right, let's... I've pennies going everywhere. Oh, do you know, I said to you, didn't I, at the start, if you were looking at the Christmas favourites and you liked the Advent calendar and the... In fact, I can show you the Advent calendar in Christmas favourites is this one. This is the new Advent calendar.
Oh, nice.
Now, I don't have the original tree skirt with me today, but here is the new tree skirt.
Wow. Oh, Anthea, I adore this.
Isn't it gorgeous? So it's just going to be a bit naughty to hold up.
This is in the this is in the new book, the Coming Home for
If
Christmas
I laid
book.
this on the desk,
Yeah.
would it be better to get an overhead?
Yeah, we can do that.
Would that be
We
better?
can
Because
do
it's
that.
going to be a bit naughty, I think. So I'll get the next ones out while
absolutely
the
do
magic's
this.
happening. So, and then there's these 2 by Michaela as well. So we've got this one. It says Noel down, but we've called it Coming Home for Christmas.
Oh, that's the one on the front cover, isn't it?
It is indeed. And then the other one here, Silent Night. Michaela was thinking about how you might use these. So this one, if you've got a tall, thin space or a long, thin space, this one, I don't know, it'd look good on the mantelpiece, that one, wouldn't it?
It would. And do you know what? I would even hang that on the door. And you could, I mean, Silent Night is beautiful,
definitely.
but you could even change the wording with a welcome on there. That
Absolutely,
would look lovely.
absolutely. And don't forget with things like this, if you take off the sentiment of Christmas, you can put whatever you want on, or nothing
course.
at all even, and have it for whatever. Wouldn't that make a great tea cosy?
Do you know, in the meeting,
tell
you said
Michaela I
about a
said
tea
that.
cosy shape, and I nodded, and then I thought afterwards, what does she mean? Now I get it. Now I get it. Do you know, I think these are absolutely stunning. That
They're
book is
brilliant.
very, very busy as well. Brand new today. £23.99. Grab yours now. 975451 is the item number. Do you know, I'd definitely be looking at some of those treasures and bundles to go along with this one as well.
I wasn't looking at the screen, so I don't know. Did we get a shot of?
We did.
of
We
the-
did.
We did.
But do you know what? I'm going to say this, Anthea. Can we spin that around so that the train is facing you a little bit more, so we can see it as though it's going around the track? Give it a
So
little bit of a
to
spin.
me,
Yeah.
to you.
There we are.
There we go. So I'll have to flick it out again. Sorry.
That's it. We
So,
can see the train a little bit more
now-
easily there.
I've had this idea in my head for quite some time of, you know, like some people put the Christmas tree up and then set the little train going round and
Yeah.
round and round.
Yeah.
And lots and lots of people do that, don't they?
They do.
So I've had this idea, because we're a sewer, not a, train enthusiast, of doing a tree skirt with the train going round. And so Sue and I did, well, Sue's done the sewing. She's done the drawing too. I'm ideas woman, me.
Do you know what I would do with that?
Go on.
Those scraps that you'll have spare from
Yeah.
any of the bundles or the
Yeah.
raggies or anything, I would make little faces in the windows.
Yeah, well,
I'd
actually...
have little faces popping out. There'd be a girl with plaits.
Yeah.
There'd be a little head with a bobble hat on.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm looking and I'm thinking you could possibly get a heck of a sight more. You could do your carriages and stuff, you know, to
Amazing,
whatever.
amazing.
But yeah, so it's like a journey. So you're going through the country. We've got the station. We've put settle on it because it's where we're from. You've got the mountains and so forth.
Lovely.
So it looks like it's going on a journey. Now, Sue did that, and then before she put the train on, we kind of had an ooh and an ah, and I nearly said to her, oh, don't put the train on, Sue. It's beautiful as it is. But she put the train on, and it looks even more amazing.
It does,
but you
it
could
does.
do it with or without.
Of course
and,
you can.
Sorry, I'm going to just reach across the table now. Because,
Well, those details are there for
we've
you, just as
also-
Anthea's reaching across. Oh, this is a good idea. Look at this.
you know our little Bozel way of working? Is this better on the table or...
No, we can see it there.
Oh, right,
We can-
okay.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So I've put this one in the book as well. This is actually from a few years ago.
Look at the reindeer.
And Sue's done her grandson's name on there, James.
Love it.
So you could just add as many carriages as you wanted.
Fantastic. Well, I've got another idea, but I'm going to save it for a little bit later because we're going to remind everybody the one-day special, over 20% of the entire stock has already gone. Let's have a look what you're getting. Of course, this is brand new today. So you're getting the Great British Baltimore quilt pattern booklet, but not only that, you're getting 10 10-inch squares of the tweed fabric. So the whole pack here with an £8 saving. Of course, we've seen the sample of the quilt here in the studio. If you want to create that quilt, we have got the bundle available. We've got the applique sets available. We've got the border available. But this is a set that's going to get you going. And if you want to take the designs here and use them into other projects as well. And now Anthea said, we might be seeing some extra patterns going as well to shrink these down. So maybe a bag with a purse perhaps that's going to go in there. We can see all of the blocks again on the sample that we've got in the studio. Top quality tweed. Anthea never cuts corners when it comes to quality, and she's got such a good eye for the colours, of course, with the designers involved as well. You know you're going to get something very, very special. So if you're going for this kit, we have got a flexi buy for you. 2 payments of £22.49. 098843 is the item number. Yeah, get yourself going with these. Have a think about how you're going to use them. Maybe pop something else into your basket as well. Maybe think about getting one of the applique sets. Definitely consider that bundle for the quilt itself, because when you break that down, the pieces of fabric, the tweed that you've got in there, that huge piece that creates the background of the quilt is such good value. But I'm loving the one-day special. I think, you know, if you're quite new to tweed as well, if you've not worked with the material before, this is another great one to go with. All those beautiful blocks there, they are stunning, aren't they? Now, I did mention there that big block kit. I am going to go to the background again, just behind me, because of the fabric. So we have got all of these fabrics here, and the silk velvet as well, or the velvet silk. And of course, we've got more fabrics. I particularly want to show you the large piece, because again, it is huge. A workable width, you said, of 54 inches, didn't you, Anthea, on this?
Yeah. And then you've got your self edges on top of that.
Lovely. So if I again open this out, we've basically folded this into quarters because we've draped it over the pole. So what you're seeing is half of the length here, but because it's also folded in half the other way, this is why it makes the fact that you're seeing what you're seeing hanging just here is only a quarter of what you're actually getting. Enormous piece of fabric there, absolutely beautiful. All of those extra pieces to create the quilt. If you go in, of course, for the pattern book on its own, if you're going for the one-day special as well, you will have that book. £269.90, but we're going to split this down into 3 payments for you. So don't forget, it's not just the larger pieces of fabric, it's everything that I've got in front of me here as well. Absolutely stunning, stunning fabrics. 283865 is the item number. We are busy on that, I've got to say as well. If you break this down and think about it, and the amount that you're going to have left over as well, 20% of the stock has now gone on the big bundle. Yeah, think about all those extra creations. You will not waste a single scrap. Anthea did show us that bag of all her leftover pieces, didn't she? Amazing, amazing bundle. Now, we are going to go back to Anthea, and we're going to see a block, I believe. So, Anthea, which one are you going to choose?
Well, I thought we'd have a look at the otter block. Now, can I just do a little confessional? Because while you've been over there doing that, I've been waving at the camera here, and I don't think anybody's noticed. Do you know what I've done?
What have you done?
This is a really crazy thing. I'm going to begin with the applique, and I've only got a heat removable pen. On my fusible web. I just wondered if our young man over there might furnish me with a biro.
I'm sure we can sort that out. I'm sure we can. Which block is it you're going to do,
I'm going to do the otter block. So
lovely.
I thought we'd just start and we'd do a little bit of it now, and then we can move, as we go through the hours, we can do a little bit more and a little bit more.
Perfect.
So I just wanted to kind of show you, and I'll come to that. When you're not looking at me, I'll have a little root in my stuff. So book, I've just put my book over here. Now, in the book, what I've tried to do is, so you might open it up and you might think, where is all the writing? What I've tried to do is not do any drawings back to back on the pages.
Okay.
So you've got, excuse me. So you've got, you know, each drawing, and, I didn't actually say, because this is Michaela's design, this quilt, I've written about my journey through it, so I've put like Anthea's making up notes, so you get, you know, where I did something and I didn't like it and I've changed it, or I've done something, you know, like, for an example, I didn't like my hedgehog. I didn't like how I'd done his feet.
Aww.
So I've put an extra leaf there. But I've written about all that kind of stuff in here. So you've got kind of like my journal as we're going through. So that's in there. That's kind of an integral part of the making up instructions, if you will.
Okay. I know we're looking at the block, Anthea, but I'm just going to do a quick update, if I may, because over
Yeah,
a quarter of
absolutely.
the stock of the one-day special has gone. This is the launch hour, remember. We're back at 8 o'clock, but you need to be quick, especially with some of the items. When they're gone, they're gone. We've heard that with one or two things that Anthea mentioned earlier, but the one-day special itself, yeah, it's flying out the door. 098843 is the item number. Back to Anthea.
Yeah, right. So if you're brand new to Applique, and this quilt, I've got to say, when you look at it, I was, the first time I put the blocks together, I was blown away. I just thought, wow, this is incredible. And then a friend of mine, I showed her, and she was like, oh my God, where do you start? Thinking about this as being like a really advanced project. Yeah. No.
Oh, that's good to hear.
There's one technique the whole way through, and
Okay.
I've done it as fusible web applique. You could do it as hand applique, you could do it as what? Needle turn probably wouldn't work as well because it might be a bit bulky in tweed, but if you were just going for the pattern book and using a different fabric, you could, that is an option. But we're concentrating on the tweed because that's what we're doing. So I've done the fusible web method. No, I haven't. I've done the raw edge applique method, which is using fusible web. You can use blanket stitch, you can use zigzag stitch, you can use whatever. But let's start at the very beginning. So if you've never done applique before and you're thinking, oh my gosh, and you're rocking in the corner.
Actually, that's a good place to bring in an email that we've had, because Karen has emailed in, and Karen said the quilt is amazing. Yes, it is, isn't it? She's ordered the one-day special, but she's also looking at one of the blocks, which we're going to be demonstrating, and she's asking, which one would you consider the easiest for a beginner?
Ooh, I'll just turn round and I'll just appraise it. They've all got different elements. I don't know. I think possibly I'd be going the other way rather than the easiest, fiddliest.
Okay.
So fiddly was the rabbit block because all the daisies you've got to sew around every petal, and the leaves are wiggly. So that it wasn't difficult, but it took me a bit longer to do. Does that make sense?
So if Karen's looking for the least fiddliest then?
So, and again, the badger with the primroses.
Yeah.
You'd got to go around the petals.
Okay.
Not difficult, but it wasn't, you weren't going to get it done in half an hour. Having said that, you've got the little bits of embellishment on the badger, which were easy peasy, and they were a joy to do. They really were a joy. The squirrel was easy, but then if you notice, I've done the running stitches on his tail to make it fluffy. You don't have to do that.
No, so you can create, you know, to whatever level you want to go, you can
You don't
choose
have
that.
to do the running stitches on his tail. I think it makes it, and it's running stitch. It's really, really easy. So the squirrel was quite easy, if you like the squirrel. The hedgehog block was easy. Again, you've got the running stitches for the spines. Oh, while we're looking at the hedgehog block, little tip, if you're putting the spines on, you don't want a porcupine. So if you make like long lines, you know, like
I see what you mean.
lines going out, you'll get a porcupine.
Yeah, so keep them quite short.
What you need to do with your running stitches for your hedgehog is, if you look at kind of where the back leg would be, and there isn't actually a back leg in the drawing because it's hidden by the flora and the fauna, and stitch a curve round so that it kind of almost spirals at the back leg. And if you do, so my first one I did like tram lines in a off-white. So if you look at a hedgehog, there's a lot more white in a hedgehog than ever you would expect.
Yeah.
So I'd start with doing some tram lines, like in a little, you know, curly-whirly, and then start going in with other colours, gradually getting darker. Now, the colour that you can't see in there really easily is the dark brown, but it wasn't until I put the dark brown in that it actually looked like a spiky hedgehog. Which is bonkers because it's the off-white that jumps out, but it was the dark brown that made it.
That is interesting.
And then I always go over the edge as well, so it looks like there's some sticking up.
Do you know, I'd love to know which one Karen actually chooses. I think the short answer to it is there's probably not really an answer.
None of them are difficult.
Would I be right in saying if you go for your favourite animal and just because it's your favourite animal, you're going to really enjoy putting that together?
Yeah, so none of them are difficult. They're all exactly the same technique. It's just some of them are going to take a little bit longer to stitch than others, and that's basically what the answer is. If it's got lots of wiggly lines, it's going to take you a bit longer than straight lines. We're going to do the otter, and the otter again is quite simple because the things in there are quite chunky.
Yeah.
You haven't got leaves, you've got like, well, it's fingers, isn't it, of leaves, but it's up and it's down. Yeah. And it's easy peasy. The fox wasn't difficult, but there's a fair amount of hand embellishment in the light pink parts, you know, to get all the dots and things.
The other thing is as well, of course, you don't have to rush these. You can take your time doing them. So if you find something's a little bit fiddly, as we say it, then you just put it down. You can bring it back at any time. But Karen, I really hope you do let us know which one you go for, because I'd be interested. And also I think you're going to so enjoy creating with these as well. The fact that you've gone for the one-day special is a great way to start because, of course, you've got the pattern book included. And another question, actually, I just want to ask this now before I forget. Anthea, because you've got the full-size templates in the pattern book, if you weren't creating the quilt, so you're going for the bundle, the one-day special itself, if you wanted to flip the templates, so say the hedgehog's facing right, could we have it facing left and all the other creatures? Could we change it around easily?
Then, you know, I said earlier that I'd put some smaller ones in.
Yeah.
How about I make those face the other way?
Oh, so it's already done?
Yeah. So then if you wanted to change the size, if you've got a basic printer with your computer at home, or if you know somebody who has, there's usually a function on there that you can increase the size. So as long as it doesn't go bigger than your paper, you just, I can't remember what the option is. Ailey's good. Ailey, do you know what option is it on your printer to make things bigger?
You go to scale. Is it bigger?
No, just one of these.
Just a chat going on between the ladies here in the studio.
Just don't mind us, everybody.
While they're chatting,
I'll give you the number.
Shall I do that? 098843 is the item number if you are going for a course. What you can see in front of me, the one-day special. So we'll just clarify what you're getting. So you're getting the pattern booklet. You're getting 10 10-inch squares. This is going to get you started. That includes as well, of course, that beautiful velvet silk or the silk velvet. Now, if you do want one of the complete squares, so you've got the kit to create, then that's where the applique blocks come in. And you've got the choice of each of those different blocks. So we've really broken this down so there's something for all pockets. You know, if maybe you're thinking, yeah, I want to go straight in with that big bundle. Some of you might just decide, oh, I don't want a little bag. I want to make a bag or a single cushion. Then maybe one of the applique blocks would work well. But the one-day special is where you're going to get the pattern with those 10-inch blocks. It's a starting point. You've got the most beautiful fabric. Look at the colours of those. And it's really going to set you on your journey. And I think Karen's made a really good choice there, actually, going for the one-day special and one of the blocks as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to pick you up on something you said a moment ago, and it was about speed. So we were talking about Karen's choices, and as I say, there's one technique, and speed is the only difference. But please enjoy the project,
yes,
enjoy the journey. This is, in fact, I could have renamed this serendipity. It's not the destination, it's the journey. It's how we got there,
totally
isn't it? It's that you want to. If I had to remake this now, that is the one thing that I would invest in more, is time. I mean, we're like, you know, we've got Sophie on the phone. Anthea, sort yourself out. Come on, I'm like, oh, Sophie. You know, I'm like, oh, sewing machine, it's got steam coming out of it. But actually, that is the one thing, if I was to make it again, it would be, do you know what? I'm doing this block this year.
It's such a good point, it really is.
Yeah. I never actually said to you at the start, there's a massive history behind Baltimore quilts.
Is there?
There is. In the introduction, I've done a couple of quotes there. Yeah, on the front page. Oh. Did you know that the main Baltimore quilts were made between 1840 and 1860, which is a really short piece of time. And the reason they stopped doing the traditional Baltimore in 1860 is because the Civil War broke out in 1861.
Yeah, you're quite right. You have put all that information in there.
And they were like peacocks of quilts. They were showing off, and that's because for the first time ever, there was a bigger variety of colours and textiles and things that you could use. So that's why Baltimore quilts just became so splendiferous. But they do tend to be...
There's lots of information in the front,
they
actually.
do
It's really
tend to be on a circular kind of design. That's the main thing. Anyway, do you want me to tell you how to do this applique?
Yes, please.
Because I don't want, if you're new, I don't want you to be, oh, I can't get 8 o'clock on Sky. So, right. So what I've done, I've got some fusible web here. Now, there's lots of brand names for this, but like the generic name is fusible web. Got it on the website, so if you want some of that, get in. I think about 2 metres for the whole quilt.
Okay.
These are pre-cut in metre lengths. So the fusible web, and particularly if you're using tweed, mine is a slightly heavier weight. And what you find with the fusible web, you've got one side that looks a bit glistening. I don't know if you can pick that up in the light. And the other side is paper. Now put this on your drawing. Now, you don't need a light box. If you're really struggling, just sellotape your drawing just at the corners onto a window and trace through there. But I've got no light box. I've got this on the desk, and all I'm doing is tracing the different parts. Okay. Now, as you look at the drawing, you'll see there's 2 irises there and there's 2 irises there. But I've drawn them close together. And the reason, Catherine, uses less fabric. Exactly. Because I don't want to waste a single drop of my precious tweed. Yeah. And tweed is expensive. We're not wasting. So so I've drawn them there. My fabric, oh heck, look, that comes off there. It doesn't matter. All I'm going to do is, if I just chop that, not right up to your lines at this moment. And the reason that we don't do that is we're going to iron this onto the fabric, she says, having left the iron over there. We're going to iron this onto the fabric. Look, if I cut that one off, because I can at this point, we can, in fact, 2 and 2 would work a lot better.
Actually, I can see now you're chopping that down. You're going to end up still with spare.
Sorry, say that again,
You're
Catherine.
still going to end up with those spare scraps that way. The way you're doing it, aren't you?
I want to cram it as close together as I can. I could take a little bit more off. Don't cut on the line at this stage, because what we're going to do is use an iron. Now, with tweed, we use a steam iron. Cotton, no steam. Quilters, we don't like steam at all. But with tweed, use a steam iron. You'll get a much better fix. So usually I just hover the iron above, let it get all nice and gummy, then give it a quick press, and that's fine. So, but when you're bonding it, it doesn't bond very well right at the edge. Now, my drawing isn't at the edge.
Oh, I see now.
Yeah, so I'm going to get a better fix round there. So once it's bonded on, then I'll cut it out. Once it's cool, we'll peel the paper off, but we'll have a look at that later on.
Okay, we've got about 5 minutes left, Anthea, just to give you a time check.
Oh, well, we'll get kettle on then in a minute, won't we? So, and the otter, I'll just trace him off. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to trace the whole otter. This is just how, you know those little tips that just lift your work up to the next level? So I'm going to trace the whole otter. I'm doing him quickly, so it's not like as perfect as it could be. It will be absolutely fine, because the thing about drawing on here is if I make a bit of a boo-boo as I'm going round, when I'm cutting out, I can always cut in the line, you know, that I wanted. So I've been a little bit skimped there on his backside, so I could kind of just draw my line, just scribble out the line that I don't want. That would be absolutely perfect. So I'm going to do the whole,
So when you say the whole of the otter, do you mean the whole of the outline? Or
yeah, I'm doing the whole thing because I want to cut my otter out
got you.
in one.
Yeah.
And, now then I'm following the wrong line in my rush. So, and then once I've done that, there we go. I'm not having that line there because it doesn't matter on the paper.
No, you don't.
So that's my whole otter. But then the head, I'm going to do again and put it on top of that. That way, it'll just stand up. It's just a hair's breadth, but it just lifts it, just gives it a little more character. So next piece, so that's
a tiny little bit of stuffing underneath. Could you do that where the cheeks are?
You could
you
do. With the fusible web method, I think you'd struggle.
Okay.
I wouldn't do. If you were doing needle turn by hand, the technique you're referring to is actually trapunto, where you just stuff it from the back. But that's a whole new ball game for a whole different day.
Right.
So
we've got under 3 minutes left,
dictionary
Anthea,
idea.
now. I don't want to stop Anthea anymore, but I'm just going to remind everybody about the happy hour deals as well. I've just remembered these because they're here. Do have a look. I'm not going to spend long because I want to get back to Anthea, but Christmas favourites we're going to look at first. There we are. Let's just quickly bring the prices up for you. £19.99 is saving £13.50. That price will go up at 7 o'clock, so I haven't got long left. That's why I'm trying to squeeze these in now. And then, of course, you've got Jingle All the Way. Different item number. Same thing, though. It's a happy hour deal, so the price will go up to £51.99 at 7 o'clock. 769998 is the item number. Do not miss out on those. You will not regret them. Now, the one-day special, a third of the stock has already gone. Of course, Anthea's back at 8. We're going to hop back over to Anthea in a second, but just to remind you, you're getting the full booklet, you're getting the 10-inch squares, all for that amazing price with a flexi buy as well. We can split it 2 ways. Item number is 098843. So, of course, split it 2 ways, £22.49. Right, we've got under 2 minutes. We've got a minute and 45 seconds.
Loads of time, Catherine, not to worry. Right, so I've almost finished drawing my otter. It is a bit rushed. Right, so I started drawing that in the wrong place, so not a problem, just scribble it out, it's only paper. So we've got, I've drawn the full head, which is going to sit fully on there, and then we've got the little mouth parts that are going to sit on the face, so it'll just stack up, and it will just give it a little lift.
Yeah.
Now here, this part here is his chest. Now you might think, what's she playing at when she's done all that dotty line? This line here is the bottom line there. Now, if I just drew everything to the precise size and I put it together, it'd be like wallpaper. You know, when you butt up and you don't quite get it right and you've got a gap. So what I want to do on the bit, so the neck is going to go up behind the head. So I've made a little bit extra and it's going to slot underneath. So there won't be a gap and it won't look unsightly. So the way I've done that is I've drawn the line, which is the outline, and then I've just, it's my own little code, just done like a dotty bit because that's the amount that's going to go under. And as you're developing your skills,
30 seconds, Anthea.
You will get your own code too. Anyway, I'll see you at 8 o'clock.
Yes, Anthea will be back. That is such a good idea again because it gives you that little bit of wiggle room, as we call it, in paper crafting with the glues, but it works with the fabric as well. Yes, do go for the one-day special. Of course, check your baskets out. If you're looking at any of those bundles, make sure you grab those quickly because we've got some items, when they're gone, they're gone. 098843 is for the one-day special. You get the book, don't forget. We'll see you at 8 with Anthea.